A device rests in a front right pocket, fabric thickness 0.9 millimeters, pocket depth 18 centimeters, device position vertical, screen facing inward, ambient noise level 41 decibels, body posture seated, lumbar angle 93 degrees, right thigh muscle group baseline tension nominal, EMG sensor array attached to quadriceps records resting state. At timestamp 11:47:14, a muscular contraction occurs. Location, rectus femoris, mid-belly region. Duration, 83 milliseconds. Peak amplitude, 12% above baseline. Contraction type, involuntary. Device vibration motor state during contraction, inactive. No mechanical resonance detected. Accelerometer readings, 0 displacement. Haptic actuator, silent. Hand moves toward pocket. Reach trajectory initiates at 11:47:14 plus 120 milliseconds. Fingers enter pocket. Screen illuminates. Notification panel, empty. Badge counters, 0 across all applications. Last actual notification arrival, 11:31:09, 16 minutes prior. Device returns to pocket. Total interaction duration, 3.2 seconds. Muscle contraction precedes device activity by 120 milliseconds on average across 47 recorded events. Device vibration occurs in 11 of those events. Device remains silent in 36 events. Muscle contraction amplitude, statistically identical across both conditions. Mean difference, 0.4%. Standard error, 0.7%. No detectable variance based on actual device state. Motor output is triggered without corresponding sensory input. Motor vibration status measurable via accelerometer and current draw. During 36 phantom events, current draw to haptic system 0 milliamps. Motor shaft rotation 0. Resonance frequency absent. The device produces no mechanical output. The muscle contracts identically. EMG onset precedes conscious detection. Muscle fiber depolarization occurs at 11:47:14. Subject reports sensation at 11:47:14 plus 200 milliseconds. Neural transmission delay from periphery to cortex, 80 milliseconds, average. Reach initiation at reported sensation timestamp. The hand moves before awareness forms. The contraction is the first event in the sequence. Device vibration, when present, occurs after the reach has already begun. Frequency count in 3-hour window, 14 contractions. Actual vibrations in that window, 2. Phantom ratio, 85.7%. Device check count, 14. Notifications found, 2. Muscle triggers device inspection in 12 cases where no notification exists. Battery depletion rate increases. Screen activations per hour 4.6. Duration per activation 2.8 seconds average. Cumulative screen time per 3-hour block 77 seconds. Power consumption from phantom triggered checks measurable. Baseline hourly battery decline 0.5%. Observed decline during high phantom frequency, 0.9%. Delta, 0.4% per hour, attributed to false positive reach cycles. Temporal clustering detected. Phantom events occur in bursts. Inter-event intervals during cluster, 4 to 9 minutes. Between clusters, 30 to 55 minutes. Cluster onset correlates with sustained static posture. 92% of phantoms occurred during seated or standing still periods. During active ambulation, 8%. Gait-induced mechanical noise in pocket appears to reduce phantom frequency. The gap is 120 milliseconds. Muscle depolarization to device resonance. When resonance occurs, the gap inverts. Device vibrates first. Muscle responds second. Latency in genuine alert condition, 40 to 60 milliseconds from vibration onset to EMG spike. The muscle is reacting to confirmed input. In phantom condition, the muscle contracts first. 120 milliseconds of silence follows. Then reach initiates. Device is checked. No vibration has occurred. The signal originates internally. The muscle fires without external trigger. The hand obeys the muscle. The device is inspected. The inspection finds nothing. The cycle repeats. The variable traced is the reversal, signal direction. In genuine, device to muscle. In phantom, muscle to device. The 120 milliseconds gap before vibration is the signature. When that gap exists, the event is phantom. When the gap is absent and muscle response follows device onset, the event is real. The gap isolates the false positive. Device sits in a pocket. Static position maintained for 11 minutes. EMG baseline holds steady. At 14:22:08, a contraction. Amplitude 14% above baseline. Duration 91 milliseconds. Device motor inactive. Hand reaches. Device extracted. Screen checked. Notification panel empty. Device returned. 47 seconds pass. Second contraction. Timestamp 14:22:55. Amplitude 13%. Duration 86 milliseconds. Device motor inactive. Hand reaches. Device extracted. Screen checked. Notification panel empty. Device returned. 1 minute 12 seconds pass. Third contraction. Timestamp 14:24:07. Amplitude 15%. Duration 88 milliseconds. Device motor inactive. Reach occurs. Extraction. Check. Empty. Return. 59 seconds pass. Fourth contraction. Fifth. Sixth. Device motor remains inactive across all events. Notifications received during 15-minute observation window 0. Device checks 6. Hand obeys muscle signal every instance. Signal accuracy 0%. Behavioral response 100%. The muscle generates false alert. The hand treats it as real.
Pattern sustained for 30-day observation period. Total contractions logged 419. Actual device vibrations 73. Phantom events 346. Accuracy rate 17.4%. The muscle is wrong in 82.6% of cases. Device check compliance 97.1%. The hand responds to false signal at near total rate. Amplitude distribution of phantom versus real events, overlapping. No threshold separates them. The strongest phantoms match the weakest real vibrations. The muscle cannot distinguish. The hand cannot distinguish. Only the device log holds truth. Motor activity binary. Either current flows or it does not. Muscle activity, continuous variable mapped onto binary interpretation. The mapping is flawed. The phantom latency sustains across cycles. Habituation does not occur. Phantom frequency in week 1, 11.3 per day. Phantom frequency in week 4, 12.1 per day. No statistically significant decrease. The system does not learn. The false positive rate is stable. The muscle continues to fire without device input. The hand continues to obey. A device rests in a pocket. Duration 8 minutes static. At 16:03:41, the device vibration motor activates. Current draw 42 milliamps. Accelerometer registers resonance. Frequency 175 Hz. Duration 300 milliseconds. Haptic pulse confirmed. EMG spike occurs at 16:03:41 plus 53 milliseconds. Muscle contraction follows vibration. Temporal order, device first, muscle second. Latency, 53 milliseconds, within normal sensory motor arc range. Amplitude, 16% above baseline. Hand initiates reach at 16:03:41 plus 207 milliseconds. Device extracted. Screen illuminated. Notification present. Message content visible. Read receipt generated. Device returns to pocket. 141 seconds pass. Second vibration. Motor active. Current draw confirmed. EMG response 61 milliseconds post-vibration. Reach follows. Notification confirmed present. Message opened. Archive action taken. Device returned. No phantom events occur between the two real vibrations. Muscle response timing consistent with afferent sensory input. No anticipatory contraction. The signal travels device to body. Sequence verified. Motor precedes muscle. The direction is correct. Observation window extends to 90 days. Phantom event count 1047. Real vibration count 219. Total muscle contractions 1266. Ratio holds 82.7% phantom. The muscle maintains false positive rate across 3 months. Real event latency 50 50 to 70 milliseconds, muscle lag. Phantom event signature, 120 milliseconds muscle lead. The reversal is stable. The gap does not compress. The timing does not drift. Week 1 muscle lead, 118 milliseconds average. Week 12 muscle lead, 122 milliseconds average. Delta, 4 milliseconds. Measurement error range, 6 milliseconds. No statistically significant change detected. Cycle count increases. Day 1, 8 phantoms. Day 90, 14 phantoms. Slope positive. The frequency escalates slowly. Device dependence metrics show parallel increase. Screen unlock count per day. Day 1, baseline, 32. Day 90, 61. Battery charge cycles per day. Day 1, 1.3. Day 90, 2.4. Device interaction load compounds. Phantom-driven checks contribute 37% of total interaction volume by day 90. Hand reaches toward pocket. Movement arrests mid-trajectory. Fingers halt 9 centimeters from fabric edge. No contact completes. Small sound forms at the boundary of speech. Vi. The fragment is clipped. It echoes briefly. The syllable does not resolve. Ambient hum of ventilation system sustains at steady amplitude. Background tone continues at 58 Hz constant. The hum drops out sharply. A brief silence follows. Device logs record muscle-initiated checks. Device logs record confirmed vibrations. The logs diverge. The muscle generates signal the device does not send. The hand responds to the phantom. The phantom returns to baseline and repeats. Temporal reference at day 1 and day 90, identical muscle lead duration. The cycle is closed. The loop persists without correction signal.